You ever have a moment you wish you could unsee? A single instant that changes the way you look at someone forever? It doesn't matter how hard you try to push it away, it plays in your head again and again, louder every time. That's what happened to me one rainy night, and I've never been the same since. My name is Rachel Monroe, I'm 38, and if you saw my life from the outside, you'd probably think I had it all figured out. But behind the doors of my perfect suburban home, there were cracks so deep they swallowed me whole. And that's where this story begins. I live in Connecticut, in a quiet neighborhood where every lawn looks like it was cut with a ruler. My husband Daniel is a senior financial analyst. He's polished, successful, and distant in ways that make silence feel heavier than words. In the beginning, when we first married, he was everything a woman could dream of. Attentive, romantic, full of fire. But over the years, that fire burned down to ash. His affection became scheduled, his words polite but cold, and his eyes stopped seeing me altogether. I went from being a wife to being part of the furniture, useful but unnoticed. I might have carried on like that forever, if it hadn't been for Alex. Alex wasn't a stranger, but he wasn't supposed to become what he became to me either. He was 20, in that confusing stage between boyhood and manhood, trying to figure out who he was. His mom, a close family friend, had been going through a rough divorce, and Daniel, ever the fixer, offered to let Alex stay with us for a while. Just until things calmed down, he said, like it was nothing. I didn't argue. I didn't know then that opening our door to him would open something inside me too. At first, Alex kept to himself. He'd spend hours sketching in his notebook, earbuds in, lost in music and his own world. But even in his quietness, I noticed him. The way he carried himself with this unspoken intensity, the way his gaze would linger for a fraction too long before he looked away. It wasn't anything I could name, not yet, but it stirred something in me I hadn't felt in years. One Tuesday evening, it all shifted. I came home earlier than expected. My book club had been canceled. The house was dark, silent, except for the soft glow of light spilling from under Alex's door. I climbed the stairs, intending to ask if he wanted dinner. But when I reached his room, the door was cracked. What I saw froze me in place. He was lying on the bed, headphones in, lost in a private world. My heart stopped, not because of what he was doing, but because of what was on the screen in front of him. It was me. Not me in the present, but me from years ago. An old video Daniel and I had made back when our love was still alive, back when we couldn't keep our hands off each other, when laughter and passion were tangled together. I thought that file had been deleted long ago. Yet here it was, playing in flickering light, reflected in Alex's eyes. I backed away, my hands trembling, heart racing like I'd been caught doing something wrong, even though it was him watching me. How did he find it? Why did he keep it? Did he know I'd seen him? Those questions haunted me all night as I lay beside my husband's sleeping body, staring at the ceiling, feeling more awake than I'd felt in years. The next morning, everything looked the same. Coffee brewed, toast popped up, small talk filled the kitchen. But when Alex's eyes met mine, I couldn't shake the memory of the night before. Something unspoken had cracked open between us, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't close it again. The days that followed were unbearable in their tension. I noticed the way Alex's voice softened when he said my name, the way he lingered in the room as though waiting for me to speak first. And I hated myself for noticing back, but I did. I started putting more thought into the way I looked, choosing a dress instead of sweats, letting my robe fall a little looser in the mornings, convincing myself it was harmless, that I was just reclaiming my confidence. But deep down, I knew better. I was starving. And Alex, without trying, had become the only one feeding me. Then came the night of the storm. Daniel was away on another conference in Miami. The thunder shook the walls, the power went out, and I lit candles to keep the darkness at bay. Alex came downstairs, fresh from a shower, his hair still damp, his chest bare under a thin t-shirt, sweatpants hanging loose. When he saw me sitting there by the glow of candlelight, he paused. "You okay?" he asked gently. I said yes, but my voice betrayed me. He sat on the floor across from me and we talked. About childhood fears, about dreams we didn't dare share out loud. The storm outside roared, but inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. Then I asked the question I'd been carrying like a weight. Why that video, Alex? His answer was simple. Because it's the only time I've ever seen you being loved. Those words cut me open. My breath caught, my heart ached, and in that moment, all the walls I had built over years of loneliness crumbled. When he reached for my hand, I didn't pull away. His touch was hesitant but deliberate, his eyes asking for permission I never gave out loud, but didn't deny. And when he leaned closer, I let him. His kiss was gentle, his presence overwhelming. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Not as a wife playing a role, not as a woman checking boxes, but as myself, alive, wanted, real. What followed wasn't planned. It wasn't logical, but it was undeniable. The storm outside had passed by morning, but inside me, the storm had just begun. When Daniel returned days later, I slipped back into the role. Smiling, polished, empty. But Alex knew better. He didn't push, didn't ask, but every glance between us was heavy with what we couldn't say. And I found myself living in two worlds, the one everyone else could see, and the one that burned silently between Alex and me. I don't know where this story ends. I don't know who I am in it yet. But I know this. The moment I saw what I wasn't supposed to see, the moment Alex's eyes reflected back a version of me I thought was gone forever, I couldn't pretend anymore. Maybe you've been there too. Maybe you've lived through a moment that made you question everything. Maybe you've felt invisible in your own life, starving for someone to notice. If you have, you'll understand why I'm telling you this. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't what happens between two people, it's what happens inside you when someone finally sees you. Thank you for listening to my story. If it struck something inside you, share this video, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Shocking Infidelity Saga, where we don't judge, we just tell the truth.